Hey, Robert here. This is do-yourself tutorial on a E46 BMW, and this is how to change your front brake pads and your rotors. Alright, once you get the car already blocked or prevent the car from rolling back, go ahead and loosen the bolts on your tire, and when you get done loosening the bolts, go ahead and jack up the car and fully remove the nuts that attach to your tire. Alright, right here, once you get the wheel off, you already exposed your caliper, your brake pads, your rotor, and everything else. First step to do, I'm going to do this differently on my terms, on the way I want to do it, is loosen the bracketing bolt that holds the rotor in place. We're not gonna unscrew it. We're just gonna loosen it a little bit so it'll be easier to take off. So what we're gonna do is this is held on by a T40. You can use a T40 screw or a bit, with a wrench, or you can use a appropriate Allen head or Allen head key. So right here is like a T40. It fits in an 8mm socket right here, and I got it in a torque, and you just loosen it as so, to make it easier to be removed off later on, instead of dealing with with all that pressure from this the screw being seized on and stuff like that. And when you get that unscrewed, we're gonna have to remove the retaining clip for the caliper, and it's pretty much very simple. You just get a screwdriver and you pretty much put it between here and the retaining clip against the rotor, and you just put pressure and it just comes off as so. And that's it. Alright, once you get these dust caps off, right over here, there's two of them that holds your caliper in place. They're held on by a 7mm Allen bolt, and pretty much you just put them in and loosen them. Once they're ready to loosen, just get a screwdriver and go to your caliper right over here, and pretty much go to your caliper, get a screwdriver.
Okay.
And pretty much just get a screwdriver, find a good solid place, and then put pressure to push the caliper, the piston back in. You need to get a bigger screwdriver. But if you have an appropriate screwdriver that can get in there, pretty much one way you can push the piston back in, the caliper piston back in is just that's one way. Or you can use a certified tool, which we have, to push the piston back in by itself, or a C-clamp. Okay.
Oh, I'm trying to get you this. No, you are. Okay.
What we're gonna do next is we're gonna remove the wire for the brake pad wear sensor. Pretty much this little control box right here. You just open it and you remove the sensor itself. Pretty much you just kind of pull it out, as so. What the hell is that? I don't know what it is. And you just pretty much loosen where the wire is attached to. Just pull off. But to remove from the car, you simply just grab one end and just pull off. There's a clip right here. You know about that. I saw it last minute. But there's a clip there. You press down and just pull it apart, and there you go. It's separated from the brake, the wire from the car and the brake sensor pad wear, and just move the wiring from its position from the shock, the strut, from the car, the wire, and off this little cap here. I guess it's a bleeder cap or something like that on the caliper. Make sure to close it. Once you remove it, it's free to go. if you haven't already, go ahead and remove the Allen bolts and pull off your caliper. Right. We have the caliper support right here with a series of bungee cords. I don't know what kind of bungee cord these are, but bungee cords, a hanger, maybe, you know, some type of mechanism that holds the caliper up so you don't put strain on the caliper itself. As you see, it's holding it. What you then do is, since we already removed it before, just pretty much pull the wire out. My sensor came on, so pretty much, actually no, not yet, but it's about to if I drove it anymore. But I never replaced this. I don't even know how old this is, so I'm just gonna replace it either way. So this is pretty much useless. And yeah, so you see they're pretty worn out compared to new ones. So it's pretty much that time, and it's already starting to squeak anyways. So yeah, yeah, that's about it. Alright, so what we're gonna do next is remove the caliper bracket that holds on to the rotor and stuff like that. It's held on by a 60mm bolt. Ready to remove one of them. We had trouble removing it, so you might need a mallet, and if that doesn't work, spray some WD-40, you know, between the areas where you need to, and it'll loosen it up a bit. And once you get it off, it comes right off. Okay. Once you go ahead and remove the screw in place, and get a mallet. What happened there?
And action.
Alright, once you get the rotor off, as you can see, we had trouble earlier, so we kind of used a mallet and some WD-40 to loosen up. I'm guessing the rotors was never been changed on this car from the previous owner. It was completely seized on there, and we had to hit it really hard to remove it. So pretty much, once you get it off, go ahead and clean this off using a brake cleaner and stuff like that. So you want to have, like, no any dirt or debris in here. And go ahead and once it's done, go ahead and put your new rotors on. Alright, so once you get your new rotors, if they came in packaged like this, they're covered in a type of oil that prevents them from rusting during storage or shipment. So what you're going to do is, if you need brake cleaner, I have a CRC brake cleaner, and pretty much you have your new rotor, and pretty much you just spray all over it and wipe it clean. So you want to get all over the disc part, around the head, around kind of like over where the bolts are. Make sure you get all of the oil off, and clean the backside too. Spray down, wipe off, and when you're done with that, it's ready for installation. Alright, once you're go ahead and already clean the surface of the rotor, with the rotor connector, this hub, you're gonna want to, I prefer putting anti-seize around it so it doesn't seize on too tight and have trouble later on you do change your rotor, resurface them. So I coat it with anti-seize so I don't have to run into that problem again. That's you do after you cleaned it of all rust and other contaminants. Go ahead and get your new rotor, line it up with the alignment bolt right here, and you go in sitting position. Once you get that on, get your bolt screw. Go ahead and screw it back in. Oops. Extra here, Larry. Thank you, Larry. Hans, just like that. Go ahead and put this T40 screw back in. What I did is I prevent from the screw from seizing and causing me to strip the screw later on, since it's kind of wore down a bit. I placed some anti-seize on it, so that's also good as too. Go ahead and screw back in, and then there you go. We'll apply torque. Just remember, we're gonna apply torque to this later. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Once you get the rotor in, screwed in, go ahead and get your caliper bracket. And go ahead and put it in. I already coated the screw with some anti-seize. Someone give me trouble. Next time I have to service my brakes. It's kind of difficult at night. There you go. Go ahead and screw it back in and apply torque. Alright, we have our caliper right here. As you notice that we still haven't pushed the piston back in, and that's what we gotta do. Since the piston right here is used to having a worn out caliper, brake pad, and we're gonna put in brand new ones, which has pretty much a lot of room that it takes up. So we gotta fully retract the piston back down. And the way you can do this, if you don't have a caliper set, a brake caliper set, you can use a C-clamp and like a small piece of wood, or you can use an old brake pad, which you don't need. Pretty much put it in between, then put a C-clamp through with some little padding so you don't damage or break anything, and just put pressure, pushing the piston back down. But that's pretty much simple what majority of people do. But I have this caliper set, and what you do is that there's various sizes for calipers, and you just find the size for your caliper. So this is about the right size. Yeah, it's kind of perfect. And you pretty much put it on the set as so. This is a brake caliper set by Mac Tools. And what you can do is that this is going to sit on the piston itself, while this one is going to be extended off here as so. And what happens is that you're going to have your tool here spin to push this down. So you want to get this to where it's pushing it back in properly. Have this reversed. There we go. And we're going to spin this to where it locks in place. Oops. There, it's locked in place. We're going to get a 19mm wrench. So we got our...
Hold on, go.
Now that we got our wrench, we'll go ahead with a 19mm bolt, or a 19mm bit, not bit, socket. Go ahead and tighten it. Slowly pushing the caliper in. And it's all the way in. Once it's all the way in, go ahead and loosen it. By spinning the other direction. And there you go. Caliper's all the way back in, so now you can put in the new brake pads. Alright, go ahead and get your new brake pad, and go ahead and lubricate the back side and all the contact points that are coming to the caliper bracket and the caliper. So it's pretty much the back side, the arms on the side over here, and that's about it. Same goes with the other pad. This part is going to go into the caliper piston, and right here we have the brake pad wear sensor. We bought a new one, and what happens that the way you put it in is you're going to have this little niche right here. That's going to be pointing out towards the rotor, and pretty much you just kind of press in, not too much, not too hard. You can use pliers to help it squeeze it in, but just push in and go ahead and feed it through the caliper opening right over here, and go ahead and seat the brake pad in place as so. Well, once you get your Allen screws right here, once you get them in anti-seize, go ahead and put it back in and attach the caliper onto the caliper bracket and go ahead and screw it into place.
Oh.
Alright, so you get your brake pad sensor wire, pad wire. Go ahead and put it back to its original position over this little nozzle right here. Go ahead and close it. Go ahead and feed this through back to the strut and connect it. Following the other wire, go ahead and connect it back to the back of the car frame and open the control box, and go ahead and connect the two wires together. I'm double checking to see if there's the correct way, there's a certain way to go in, and pretty much it's going to be pointed towards down, and there, it clicks into place. You know it's good, so push that back in and it's done. Go ahead and put back your dust covers, your dust plugs in to the Allen screws, and then we're going to replace our anti-rattle clip back on. Pretty much easy ways to go this is put this down in and slowly pull traction towards us. And there you go. Good.
Yep.